What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, aka Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV. Your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, happy Wednesday to all of y'all. Hope y'all are having a great day. Hope everything's going smooth for you. Hope, honestly, you just be able to get through the day. Hope everything's rocking your way. So, want to go over the final full padded practice from yesterday and just a few notes and things of that nature that I've seen on today's docket. So we're going to get right into it. And the first thing that came up from yesterday's practice is kind of a few highlights that I think are actually kind of interesting. Hold up. Pause real quick. All right, there we go. So we good to go now. But, guys, first thing first is, don't know if y'all saw, but apparently, well, it kind of goes head to head. So there was a big fight that broke out between J.C. Horn, Ike Kwanu, Chuba Hubbard, Nick Scott, and all them boys yesterday. And apparently it was just a very heated practice, very physical, very demanding on both sides, very chippy. And afterwards, after the practice, Bryce and Chuba led the team in gassers after a pre-snap penalty, and they were kept out of the end zone to end the practice session just out of kind of like, I guess, a frustration of sorts. And it wasn't led by Canales. It was led by Bryce and Chuba, and Canales actually liked that in the sense of, hey, my players are taking charge, and you know what? They're taking the lead. They're taking the command, so on and so forth. And I saw in some Panther groups on Facebook, they were trying to say Canales is weak because he couldn't tell them to do gases afterwards based off their performance, and I was kind of taken aback. Because in a sense, I'm like, wouldn't you want your players to take the initiative before you have to say something like that? If you as a coach have to tell your players that they deserve to be punished for not being crisp and on point rather than the players taking charge, I feel like you're in a bad position as a coach and in the foundation. So I don't know what they were thinking. I didn't comment nor engage just to save myself the time, energy, effort to try and understand where they were coming from. I suppose if you want to say he's weak and doesn't know how to lead, I feel like that's a stretch, though, in my opinion. And there was some other news that came out, and I thought this is very interesting due to the fact that so many people are hitting the panic button and saying the defense looks bad, offense looks bad. So apparently, Aviro has not been calling the play calls at all on defense. And we know on the offensive side of the ball, Canales has been letting Brad Izzett call the plays rather than him. So Aviro will call the plays on defense for Thursday's game, and obviously Canales is probably going to take over back for offensive play calling in Thursday's game, which to me leads a lot to exposing those who have been screaming in the panic button that we look so awful, that we look so bad. Canales has been letting the assistants call these plays. And granted, I'm not huge on that practice. I'm not, because I need the play caller who is going to call the plays in the regular season. I would like them to be calling them in the preseason. That is me. So I get that aspect of it. Had it been Canales and Aviro, the ones been calling the plays the entire time, okay, y'all have ample ammo. But if the assistants have been the ones calling the play calls, now I'm really doubling down on my stance of y'all need to relax. If I'm being honest, I'm really doubling down on my stance of y'all need to relax if it's been the assistants, the ones that have been calling the play calls. Because he said Aviro has not called any of the defensive plays the first two preseason games. We know Izzett has at least took over for the Houston game. I don't know about the first game against Cleveland, but he definitely took over, and that was announced for the Houston game. So that lends me to believe what's going on is that Canales is trying to get his assistants some more get their feet wet in terms of offensive play calling. That way, as they develop and grow, they may go on to take these positions at the next level, and at least they're prepared. So I can respect that. But in good news, Tommy Tremble and Damian Lewis have been announced that they are on track to play in week 1, but obviously they will begin to take that with caution. But them coming back for week 1, I appreciate it. I love it. I like that news. And Jalen Coker, who was sick and did not play last week, has announced that he will play on Thursday. So that is good. Get him some final reps in before the regular season starts. And I'm all for it. I am all for it. I don't want to rush Tommy back. I would like Trimble back. Tommy is Trimble. I would like Damian Lewis back. If I had to pick between either one of them, I would take the offensive lineman over Trimble just because I feel offensive line is more valuable and I want a healthy offensive line. So if I had to choose between the two to be ready by week 1, I want it to be Damian Lewis. But I also don't want them to come back early if it's going to put them at risk of being severely injured. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. Looking at this practice, heading into Thursday, I am just like, hey, I have officially taken into it's preseason. Show me what's up when the regular season kicks off. I understand preseason is supposed to be your fine-tuning stage and so on and so forth, and you want to look perfect in preseason so you can go perfect in the regular season. I get it. I really, really do. However, this is why it's preseason. It's just like a rough draft. It's just like a scrimmage. It's just like an exhibition. Because you know what it is? It doesn't count. It does not count. How many of you have written something or have even played a sport and done something in a scrimmage that when it came game time, y'all didn't do it all and you played completely different than how you did in that scrimmage? Calm down. I will continue to tell y'all to calm down. And again, if this happens in the regular season, when the games actually count and the standings are real, then yes, you have all right to panic. But right now, due to the fact that everybody and their mama talks so much crap about us as the Carolina Panthers, why on earth would you give into it and go ahead and start trashing us as well? We are the only fan base we have. Us, Carolina Panther fans, we are all together as one. So why on earth would you go into the season already speaking negatively and just speaking that into existence? I don't care if you're like, oh, I'm trying to be realistic, man. I'm just trying to, don't beat a dead horse because this has been happening a lot. Bro, calm down. Crazy enough, if you want to be realistic, we've improved the last 2 years, record-wise, with the same preseason record the last 2 years. We've established a better foundation than we were at 3 years ago. We're in a better position than we were 4 years ago. Y'all remember when we were scrambling between P.J. Walker, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young? We didn't even give Corral a chance to play QB. We got rid of Will Corral before we even got a chance, or Matt Corral before he even got a chance. We were just scrambling for an identity, scrambling for a foundation. So, compared to where we were 4 years ago, 3 years ago, take a breather. Go touch some grass. Go look at a duck on the pond. Go get some ice cream. The summer's still around, bro. It's okay. Jesus Christ, man. Like, I understand being a Panthers fan has been hard on us all. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to sit there and go into the season already saying we're going 1-15, 2-15. 2-15, 3-14. I'm not. You're not going to catch me doing that. Why? Because I believe the energy you put out into the universe is the energy you get back. You want to sit there and put out that your partner's cheating on you, and then your partner goes and cheats on you. Guess what? You kind of spoke that into existence. You say you're not going to get the job that you applied for, and you don't get the job you applied for. Guess what? You spoke that into existence. But at least if you speak something positive into your life, you tried, man. You were looking for the positive outcome. And if it didn't work, okay, big whoop. Try again. Try again. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm just too optimistic for my own understanding. That could be it. Maybe because I am a realist. And like I've told y'all before, realistically, to me, Carolina is an 8 to potentially 10-win team. I'm not going any higher than that. Anything above that, bro, that's just icing on the cake. I'm considering that a great season. But to me, a successful season is increments, slowly getting better. You don't have to immediately turn it around because the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. So if you get up there quick, you're going to go down quicker. I want that slow foundational build. 2-win team, to 5-win team, to 8-win team, to 10-win team. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Y'all want this right now. Enjoy the journey, man. Because in 2 to 3 years, if Carolina's a 15-win team, you're going to be able to look back on this and say, hey, I was with Carolina and I believed in Carolina when we were 5-12. I believed in Bryce Young even when we went 2-15 his first year. That's all I'm saying, bro. Don't be so quick to quit just because it looks bad right now. The night is darkest just before the dawn. If you know where that's from, rocks to you. But let's move on to the next one, man, because it kind of goes hand in hand with what I've seen. And apparently, there's been some sloppy fundamentals from a star quarterback for us. So there was an article on ESPN that was highlighting the issues with coaching a number 1 overall draft pick quarterback, right? And it was related to Cam Ward. And in the article, because it was related to Cam Ward, it was talking about the previous number 1 overall quarterbacks that have been taken in recent summers in the draft. Obviously, Bryce Young ended up on that list. And in the Bryce Young segment, it was talking about his first year under Frank Reich. And it was going through it. And Frank Reich himself was very adamant in his quote saying he wasn't too harsh on Bryce because they, as a team and as a foundation, they were trying the best they could, but they also didn't put Bryce in the greatest position. Apparently, there was a source that feels a little bit different. So this is what the source said. According to the article written by Jeremy Fowler and Teron Davenport, they said one Panthers team source said Young developed poor habits with footwork, sloppy fundamental, and overall preparation in his season with Reich's staff. Young averaged 33 passing attempts per game, behind that bad offensive line that surrendered 62 sacks, making Young the second most sacked quarterback in the league in 2023. Nani? Now, my original thought was, hold up. Now, my original thought when I saw this quote, I was genuinely thinking to myself, are you saying Bryce Young is just sloppy, like he didn't come into the league and like with great footwork and things like that? And then I had to take an extra second. I'm like, maybe they're saying Reich's staff gave him the wrong footwork, didn't help him prepare right. And that I had to take it into that account. But I also have never been a fan of the team source thing, because I've always felt if you're going to say something this bold, say something like this, say it with your chest and put your name on it. Don't hide behind, anonymous team source. Don't hide behind, Panthers team. No, if you are going to willingly say something that bold, stand on what you said and put it out there. Put your name on it. Because obviously you feel this type of way. But because you don't want to lose your job or the ramifications, or you know what could be the ramifications, now all of a sudden, I don't want to tie my name to it. No. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences, bro. Don't be slick. Stand on that. But I say all that to say, I don't think Bryce has ever had bad fundamentals. And even when you go back and look at 2023, and you look at some of the dimes he threw that were just dropped by receivers, by Terrence Marshall, by Jonathan Mingo, by Miles, like he had some dimes, bro. And receivers just dropped the passes. You see, he was sacked 62 times. That's a bad O-line. A quarter of those, yes, are on Bryce holding the ball too long. I'm not going to sit there and say every sack was on the O-line. But come on now. More times than not, it was the O-line. So you have a bad O-line, receivers dropping passes, an offensive coordinator that ain't calling the right plays at the right time, and a coaching staff that's just scrambling. Y'all really expected Bryce to turn us into a 5, 6, 7-win team right off rip. And y'all really expected that not to affect his confidence. I just logically, let's add that up, bro. Let's put the logic together. Make that make sense. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Now, last year, when he started the season, yes, Bryce was playing bad. I'm not going to hold you. I said, all right, Bryce got benched. Hey, I may not have fully agreed with it at the time, but I saw what Canales was seeing, and it paid dividends because when Bryce came back, that was a brand new, different Bryce. So I see the vision, and it worked out. But we got to stop with what I call this instant microwave society and get back to the developmental process of everybody takes time to develop into who they're going to be. Y'all all want the instant, not all of y'all, obviously not all of y'all, but a good proportion of society, due to the instantaneous nature of social media and everybody trying to be first one to put out like articles and be the first one to say, I called X, Y, and Z, I did X, Y, and Z, I told you X. Like y'all all want to be the first one to say you did something. Not realizing like the slow developmental process that takes to be something great. It took Brady a couple years to be great. He had to develop in Michigan before he got to New England. And even in New England, Brady doesn't become Brady if Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. He probably takes another few years. Peyton Manning sucked. Had 45 interceptions, I want to say, or 28 interceptions his rookie year. Most of NFL history. Considered a legend. Drew Brees had to get injured and leave San Diego before he became the legend he was in New Orleans. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. What I'm saying is these are guys that you or know are tangible. Even, for example, Matthew Stafford, years in Detroit. Finally gets a Super Bowl ring when he finally gets the team around him, but he was always good. He just didn't have the team around him and the foundation and everything around him. But when you get the right foundation, he can show you that he's that great. And now Matthew Stafford's considered one of the best in the league consistently year in and year out. Give these players time to develop. Jalen Hurts was given time to develop. Jalen Hurts is now a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. So it's okay if they take a little longer if the dividend at the end is what we want. Cam Newton came in 2011. You give time Cam to develop. We're in the Super Bowl in 2015. Come on, man. God. And then thirdly, guys, do want to talk about, speaking of developing somebody, apparently Coach Canales might be primed for Coach of the Year award. So, I mean, Nani? Apparently. So, according to Yahoo Sports, they were putting out what are the odds for Coach of the Year heading into this season. And this is according to Yahoo Sports and BetMGM. And here's what was said. Matt Russell from Yahoo says, Looking at last year's record, it's human nature for voters to factor in work that might have begun before this season. Canales got hired by the Panthers in 2024 because of his work with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, and we've already seen some development in Bryce Young. As the 2023 number one overall pick, accounted for 20 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions after being benched early last year. The narrative might be Canales is coaching up Young, a player talented enough to have also won a Heisman Trophy. While the NFC is just as competitive as the AFC in regard to the seven playoff spots, the way to sneak into the postseason as a dark horse may come from winning the NFC South. Instead of backing Carolina to steal the division at around 4-1, if Canales gets even more out of Young and the Panthers skip past the Bucks and Falcons, or the Falcons and Bucks, he'll be hard to beat for Coach of the Year, even if it's close. With Canales' 14-1 odds providing a much better payout, that's enough to make an avenue worth taking. And honestly, I definitely could see it. If Carolina is a 10-11 win team and first in the NFC South, like clearly wins the division, Canales is going to get Coach of the Year. There is absolutely no way. If Carolina becomes a 10-win team and easily wins the NFC South, like it's not we got in by the wild card. No, we actually win the division. Carolina, Coach Canales is winning Coach of the Year unless somebody like head coach of Tennessee wins the AFC South at 10-1 too. Like that's the only way I can see that. Like maybe the only few. Yep, that's all I can say. That's all I'll say. It has to be teams that drafted worse than us. So anybody who drafted from 1 to 7, they have to finish with a better record than us and win their division to win Coach of the Year. Other than that, it's going to be Coach Canales. And I co-sign on it 100%. I'm going to speak it into existence. And Coach Canales, he will be in contention and win Coach of the Year. Why? Because I just want to see it happen. Man. And now, lastly, it is time, y'all. Time for Panther Nation to speak your truth. Oh, before I do that, I always forget. I got to give y'all this. Hold up. Here is your Panther freeze frame of the day, and it is actually Bryce Young leading the offense in the gassers. This is what you want out of your quarterback, man. Look at Bryce, man. Look at Bryce. Bryce looks great. Look at it. But let's get on ahead. Let's go ahead. And we are going to get into these comments. First comment comes up from WSWB. Says Young isn't going to play this game. Dalton apparently isn't going to play. Getting Perkins is a good move. Gives us 2 QBs to look at in the final preseason game. We need a third. So if Plummer looks good, keep him. If Perkins looks better, keep him instead. If nothing else, each will be able to put plays on film for another team to look at. And one will stay, the other will leave. I think this is a good, quick, short-term move. Not going to have 4 in the room when the season starts. I agree 100%. Like, there is everything you said, bro, you need to hit the nail on the head. Plummer looks good, keep him. Perkins looks good, keep him. Hey, I'm cool with having 3 QBs. 4 makes no sense, so yeah. And at least other teams can see on film what they like out of each one. So yeah, you 100% right. No disagreement there from me. Next comes from Philip the Artist _ says, we are going to be garbage yet again this season. Don't give me that it's preseason chill cuz of BS. Other teams are dropping 30-piece combos in the same preseason. We don't even have an accurate kicker. Here comes a joyless, boring, painful 3-and-out field season yet again. Yeah, maybe we'd be better with Trey, but at what cost? And who do they even want? No one we can afford to lose. But hey, at least we'll be in the Arch Manning conversation. Several things. It is just preseason. I'm going to hit you with that. Because when you're talking about teams dropping 30 pieces, what do you want to know those teams? This past week, week 2, Bears, Bengals, Giants, Ravens, Seahawks. The Bears aren't better than us, and they got so many assets from us. The Bengals have no defense, so I'm afraid they're going to regress slightly. The Giants aren't better than us. I don't feel like that. The Ravens, yes. The Ravens are better. They are. I'll give you that because they've been consistently playoffs. And then Seahawks, I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know. So I'm not worried about that. And then in week 1, Eagles, Browns, Giants, Jets, Steelers, Patriots, Broncos, Rams. Those are the teams that put up 30. Eagles, yes, they are the defending champs, so obviously they make sense. The Browns, not better than us. Giants, not better than us. Jets, not better than us. Steelers, not better than us. Patriots, not better than us. Broncos and Rams, I'll give you them. So, in the span of all these teams dropping 30, only 4 are actually concerned about. So, what are you talking about? These other teams are dropping 30? Bro, most of these teams that have dropped 30 had a worse record than us last year. Calm down. Jesus Christ. And the Arch Manning conversation, hot take, bro. I'm not a fan of Arch Manning. Nani? I'm not into the Arch Manning hype just yet. I have to see how he plays at Texas this year, but I'm not buying into the Arch Manning hype just yet. That is my honest to God opinion. I'm not saying he's trash, not by any means. The boy can ball. But I'm not thinking he is number 1 overall or top 10 pick worthy just yet. That is me. And then last comment comes from Chucktown Panther 843. My man says, can't buy a new Gucci shirt with a Walmart budget. Hey. He ain't never lied. He ain't never lied. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping next. Comment below and let me know, what are your thoughts heading into the final preseason game? What are your expectations? What do you want to see? And what do you hope to get out of it? 2, how do you feel about Bryce's development since 2023? Like, since his rookie year, honestly, how do you feel about Bryce's development? 3, do you think Coach Canales can win Coach of the Year? And if so, what's it going to take for him to do that? Leave your comments in the section below because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.